Most men think winning a woman's heart is about charm, compliments, or proving you're worthy. But here's the truth. What truly captivates her is not what's predictable. It's what makes her pause, think, and feel something she didn't expect. Attraction isn't built in the comfort of routine. It's born in the spark of curiosity. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. The questions you ask, not the praise you give, are what color her thoughts about you." Main message: the fastest way to connect with a woman is not through flattery, but through questions that awaken her mind. Compliments fade, routines bore her, but a well-placed question lingers. It forces her to reflect, and in that reflection, she feels a spark she cannot explain. Think about it. How many conversations have you tried to carry with effort, only to feel the energy die? It wasn't because you weren't good enough. It was because you weren't stirring her emotions. Questions have the power to do that. They don't just get an answer. They unlock her perspective, reveal her inner world, and sometimes even shake her confidence in ways she secretly craves. Seneca once warned us, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." When you ask a question that cuts through her imagination, you ground her in truth. And truth, handled with calm strength, is more seductive than any empty compliment. Closing transition: that's why some men, not the richest, not the most handsome, still capture a woman's complete attention. They know that a question asked with composure can shift the entire balance of power. In this video, we're going to explore 10 such questions, each one designed not to manipulate, but to reveal. Questions that separate you from the crowd, that show her you're not afraid of truth, and that remind her of something rare: a man who knows his worth. Stay with me, because once you understand the art of asking the right questions, you'll never look at attraction the same way again. The first powerful question you can ask a woman is simple. What was your last relationship like? Most men fear this question, thinking it's too direct or risky. But in reality, it's a mirror. It reveals how she views men, how she handles conflict, and whether she understands respect. Her words about her past often predict how she will act in the future. Imagine this. A man named John asks Lisa about her past. She answers with blame, painting her ex as the villain and herself as perfect. That's a warning sign. A woman who cannot take responsibility will repeat the same blame in her next relationship. Contrast that with Sarah, who says, "It just didn't work out. We had different priorities and I learned a lot." That shows maturity and growth. The Stoic Epictetus taught, "We cannot choose our external circumstances, but we can always choose how we respond to them." Her response to this question tells you more than her story. It tells you her character. Here's the mistake many men make when she shares drama. They rush to play the hero, saying, "I'd never do that to you." But that eagerness kills attraction. She doesn't need you to rescue her. She needs you to stay calm, listen, and observe. True strength is not in fixing her past, but in holding your ground while she reveals it. Seneca once said, "It is the power of the mind to be unconquerable. When you listen without judgment, show her that her truth cannot shake you." And women respect the man who dares to face reality without flinching. So remember, her past is not just history, it's a map. The man who studies that map with patience and composure is the one she cannot ignore. Another powerful question to ask is, do you ever regret the choices you've made in relationships? At first glance, it seems simple, but it cuts deep. This question forces her to face the gap between what she says she wants and the men she actually chose. It's not about judgment, it's about observing her honesty. Some women will quickly get defensive, insisting they have no regrets, blaming others for every failure. Others will pause, reflect, and admit, "Yes, I ignored the red flags. I made mistakes. That difference is everything." The first shows denial. The second reveals maturity. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it." The woman who can admit her mistakes shows she values truth over pride. Without that, there can be no respect. Here's where most men fail. They avoid asking because they fear rejection. But Stoicism teaches us that truth is better than comfort. Epictetus reminded us, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. The strength of this question lies in silence, asking calmly, then letting her answer. Imagine sitting across from her. She reflects, admits her past errors, and you stay composed, not rushing to comfort her or prove yourself. In that moment, you stand apart. You show her you can face truth without fear, and that calmness makes you unforgettable. This question matters because it strips away illusion. It doesn't just reveal her past decisions, it reveals whether she's willing to live with honesty. And the man who can stand steady in that truth earns her deepest respect. One of the deepest questions you can ask is, what do you feel most insecure about in yourself? This is not a question for the first 5 minutes of a date. It's powerful because it cuts through the mask of confidence and charm, forcing her to reveal what she wrestles with underneath. And when she does, you have the chance to show calm strength. Take an example. A woman laughs nervously, then admits, I sometimes worry I'm not as attractive as I used to be. Most men would rush in with empty praise. No, you're beautiful, don't worry. But the wiser man holds his silence, listens, and simply acknowledges her words. That calmness makes her feel safe, and that safety builds trust. Seneca once said, he suffers more than necessary who suffers before it is necessary. Insecurities are exactly that, suffering before its time. When she shares her fear, she reveals the storm in her mind. Your role is not to fix the storm, but to stand steady within it. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. By staying composed when she exposes her insecurities, you show her that nothing shakes you. That presence is rare and deeply attractive. If she refuses to answer or becomes defensive, that itself is revealing. It tells you she's not ready for honesty. And a man with standards does not chase attraction at all costs. He filters for maturity. This question matters because it strips away the armor. It puts her in a place where she feels both exposed and seen. And once a woman feels that with you, she will not forget it. Another question that reveals more than you expect is, do you ever get jealous when other women get attention? On the surface, it sounds playful, but underneath, it's explosive. Jealousy is one of the strongest emotions, and it shows truths she rarely admits. She may act confident, but every woman has moments of comparison. By asking calmly, you invite honesty. If she laughs it off too quickly, she may be hiding her vulnerability. If she admits it openly, she reveals courage and self-awareness. Either way, you've broken through her mask. And in that moment, the balance of power shifts because you've drawn out something real. Marcus Aurelius wrote, you have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this and you will find strength. When you ask about jealousy, you step into a storm. Your power is not in avoiding it, but in standing calmly within it. That steadiness makes you unforgettable. Most men never dare to go there. They keep things polite and predictable. But safe conversations don't create attraction. Honest ones do. By holding silence and letting her answer, you show her that her truth doesn't scare you. Seneca reminded us, a sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the hand of the killer. Jealousy itself is not weakness. It's simply a force. How it plays out depends on the strength of the man facing it. So remember, when you calmly explore this question, you set yourself apart. You're no longer just another man trying to please her. You're the man who stands steady in the face of raw emotion, and that presence is what makes her remember you. One overlooked but powerful question is, what do you look for in a man? Most men ask this with a needy tone, trying to prove they fit her checklist. But when you ask calmly and from a place of strength, the meaning changes. You're not begging for approval, you're observing her mind. That subtle shift flips the power dynamic. Picture this. Michael sits across from Emily and asks, what do you really look for in a man? She lists honesty, humor, success. Michael doesn't rush in to prove he's all of those things. He stays composed, lets her words hang in the air. That silence tells her he isn't chasing her approval. Instead, she finds herself trying to impress him. The frame has shifted. Marcus Aurelius said, if someone can show me I am mistaken, I will gladly change, for the truth is what I seek. The same applies here. You're not trying to mold yourself to her list. You're seeking truth about who she really is. The mistake most men make is using her answer as a script, exaggerating stories to match her desires. But authenticity is far more attractive. The man who listens without scrambling to impress shows rare strength. Epictetus reminded us, first say to yourself what you would be, then do what you have to do. The strong man doesn't bend himself to her expectations. He lives his truth and lets her reveal whether she fits into it. So when you ask this question with calm confidence, you stop auditioning. You stand as yourself. And when she realizes you're not chasing her, she begins chasing you. Another revealing question is, what do you secretly want but rarely admit out loud? This is powerful because it bypasses the polished, safe answers she usually gives. It forces her to step outside the role she plays for the world and reveal something closer to her truth. In that moment, you see whether she can be honest, not just with you, but with herself. If she avoids it with a joke that tells you she may fear vulnerability. But if she pauses, reflects, and shares even a glimpse of something real, you've opened a door most men never reach. That shift changes the entire frame. She's no longer evaluating you. She's revealing herself to you. Epictetus once wrote, "Freedom is the only worthy goal in life. It is won by disregarding things that lie beyond our control." Many women keep their deepest desires hidden out of fear of judgment. When you calmly ask, without pressing or reacting, you give her the freedom to speak honestly. That experience is rare and it's magnetic. The mistake most men make is pushing too hard, turning the moment into an interrogation. True strength lies in patience. Ask, let her answer, and move on gracefully. That restraint leaves her wondering, why didn't he press me for more? That mystery lingers in her mind long after the conversation ends. Marcus Aurelius reminded us, the soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts. When you invite her to reveal what colors her inner world, you are not just making conversation, you are witnessing the truth of her soul. This question matters because it reveals not just desire, but character. And the man who can hold that truth with calm composure sets himself apart from all the rest. A question that slices through the noise is, what do you really want right now, without overthinking it? Women often live in shifting emotions, craving stability one moment, excitement the next. By asking what she wants in this very moment, you strip away the contradictions and invite clarity. And clarity is addictive. Picture this. David sits across from Claire. Instead of comforting her with routine conversation, he leans in and calmly asks, "What do you really want right now?" She hesitates, then admits, "I want to feel free for a night. No pressure." That one answer changes everything. She feels lighter because she spoke her truth, and she associates that relief with him. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "If someone can show me I'm mistaken, I will gladly change, for the truth is what I seek." By asking calmly, you're not chasing an answer to use against her. You're seeking truth and showing her you can handle it without flinching. That steadiness earns respect. Most men ruin this by either dismissing her answer or clinging to it. The stronger path is silence. Let her words breathe. That restraint proves you're grounded, not desperate. And when she reflects later, she will remember the man who made her confront herself honestly. Epictetus reminded us, we have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak. This question is not about what you say. It's about what you hear. And when you hear her truth calmly, she sees you differently. This question matters because it forces her to strip away illusions, if only for a moment. And the man who guides her out of confusion without losing his frame becomes unforgettable. One question that can break through her defenses is, what's the one thing you never tell people, but wish someone would understand about you? This isn't small talk. It's a doorway into her hidden world. By asking, you invite vulnerability, not forced, but chosen. Whether she shares something light or something deep, the shift is real. She feels you are different from the men who only skim the surface. Marcus Aurelius said, "The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts." When she reveals what she usually hides, you glimpse the thoughts that shape her most. And if you meet that truth with calm presence, she begins to trust you. Seneca reminded us, a sword never kills anybody. It is a tool in the hand of the killer. Vulnerability itself is not weakness. It's simply a force. How it plays out depends on the one who creates space for it. If you handle it with patience, her openness becomes the bond that ties her closer. Most men ruin this moment by pressing too hard or reacting with judgment. The wise man listens quietly, acknowledges her courage, and holds steady. That stillness proves you can handle more than her surface. Epictetus wrote, "We have 2 ears and 1 mouth, so that we can listen twice as much as we speak." Sometimes the greatest gift is silence, showing her that her truth is safe with you. This question matters because it doesn't just build intimacy, it reveals character. When she lets down her guard and you remain unshaken, respect deepens into something rare, a bond built on truth. One of the most unforgettable questions you can ask is, what do you truly want out of life that you're afraid to admit? Unlike small talk, this question forces her to confront herself. It makes her pause and reflect on the dreams she hides even from those closest to her. And when she does, she will forever link that moment of truth to you. Seneca once said, "We suffer more often in imagination than in reality." Many women carry secret hopes or fears that weigh on them more than reality itself. By calmly inviting her to share, you help her release that weight, and she will remember the man who gave her that freedom. Psychologists speak of emotional anchors, moments that fuse memory with feeling. When you ask this question, you create such an anchor. Even months later, she may recall you not for your looks or charm, but because you made her confront her own truth. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The soul becomes dyed with the color of its thoughts." When you guide her to reveal the thoughts she hides, you're not only drawing her closer, you're helping her face the color of her own soul. That alone makes you unforgettable. But here's the key. Your power is not in reacting, but in staying grounded. A simple, steady response, "I understand," or "that makes sense," proves you can hold her truth without fear. Most men rush to impress. Few can make a woman feel safe enough to reveal what she hides. Safety mixed with mystery is what sets you apart. So remember, the men who linger in a woman's mind are not those who overwhelm her with praise, but those who gave her the rare gift of honesty and presence. That is what makes you unforgettable.